come around, don't I? And I know sometimes I'm bringing you down, but I always make you smile, don't I? We're like the waves on a big blue stormy sea, but still you're the one who brings out the best in me. We're a little messed up.
So, if you guys have been following our channel, one of the things that you guys might have heard us say on many occasions is how much we value moving to Canada and how good it has been to us. Hi guys, welcome back to another video, or welcome if this is your first video. In today's video, I'm going to be telling you guys about 5 things I hate about Canada. Yes guys, you hear that? You heard that right. I'm going to be telling you guys 5 things I hate about living in this country. And if you guys are thinking of moving to Canada, I think you guys are gonna hate these things too. If you guys haven't already subscribed to our channel, please take a second, hit that subscribe button, smash a like on the video, and let me know what are your thoughts in the comment section. Now, I'm gonna be doing this as a 2-part series. I'm gonna be telling you guys 5 things I hate about Canada, being an immigrant in Canada. And then in the other episode, I'm going to tell you guys 5 things I really love about Canada, to give you guys an unbiased opinion about what moving to Canada looks like from an immigrant perspective, right? Now, let's get into it, guys. Now, I'm going to start with number 1, which is the obvious thing, the weather. Yes, guys, I hate this weather. If you look outside, it is cold. You can tell that it's cold by just looking. It's been snowing like for the past 2 months already, and we're still in December. And we're going to be having this cold weather probably for another 3-4 months, if we're lucky, right? Yeah, you guys might say, I choose to live in Alberta, which is known to be a cold province. But the matter is not that it's cold. The matter is that the weather can be very bipolar, which means that the weather can change instantly. And that usually causes persons to get sick very easily. If you have sinus problems, or just because of the inconsistent temperature, you might leave out your house, it's freezing, and in the afternoon it's in the positive. I hate the weather. I hate the weather. I hate the weather. And it's number 1 on my list. And I'm sure it's number 1 on a lot of persons' list. Let me know, guys, if you hate the weather as much as I hate the weather. I know, before you guys say, oh, if you hate the weather, why don't you choose to move to somewhere else? That's what we're going to do a part 2, to tell you guys the 5 things I love about Canada, because obviously there's things that keep us here, right? That outweigh the negatives, which is what I'm talking about right now. So the weather, number 1. After that, I hate the weather. Now let's talk about the second thing on the list. High cost of living. Canada is an expensive country to live in, guys. Grocery costs, housing costs, very, very expensive in comparison to the neighbors down south, which is the US. Grocery, food in general, cost of living is generally cheaper in the US than in Canada. Canada is a very, very expensive country, and cost of living is very high. Now, depending on where you live, it might be a little bit cheaper in different areas, might be more expensive in different areas, but straight across the board, there's nowhere in Canada where cost of living is low and relatively cheap. It's very expensive to live in Canada, and that can cause a lot of persons to live from hand to mouth. In Canadian terminology, living paycheck to paycheck. It's very hard to save. It's very hard to invest. It's very hard to create wealth. Unless you are doing a lot of hustling, like you're working 2-3 jobs, or you're really just putting pedal to the metal and really just focusing and just the narrowing down and just like deciding that you want to get rich. But the average person finds it very difficult to save, because it is a very, very expensive country. Cost of living is very high, and I'm gonna repeat it again, because cost of living is very high. And as an immigrant, we always hear this, but until you actually come, you don't understand how expensive cost of living can actually be. Now, number 3 on the list. Let's talk about it a little bit. Why is it so expensive to travel inside of Canada? I know we just spoke about cost of living from a household perspective, groceries, cost of living, rent, mortgages, etc. But let's talk about traveling. It is so expensive to travel inside of Canada. It is almost cheaper to travel to Jamaica or cheaper to travel to Mexico than to travel to Toronto, than to travel to Vancouver. And these are all within the same country. I always find it fascinating. Why is it so expensive to travel inside of Canada in comparison again to the US, where it's only a couple $100 or less to travel from state to state? But if you're gonna travel in Canada, it's gonna cost you a arm and a leg. And that is why most persons drive everywhere. That is why most persons drive 36 hours across the country. From Alberta, Grand Prairie in my case, a person will drive 36 hours, 38 hours to get to Toronto rather than just taking a flight. Or to Vancouver will drive 15 hours, 12 hours, 15 hours rather than taking a flight because it is so expensive. Going to Edmonton, for example, if I should take a plane, it's going to be roughly 45 minutes to an hour to get to Edmonton. Same thing to Calgary. For 50 minutes to an hour, you get to Calgary if you're taking an airplane. If you're driving, it takes 7 hours to get to Calgary, and it takes 4.5 to 5 hours to get to Edmonton. But guess what? The cost to fly to Edmonton is roughly going to be $300 one way. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. If you're traveling to Calgary, it's going to cost you roughly the same one way. Make it make sense. So a simple round trip to Edmonton is going to cost you $500 to $600 to go somewhere that's going to go only an hour away in a flight. Let's not even talk about to Toronto or to Vancouver. I don't know the answer. If you guys have the answer, pop it in the comment section right down below, because I'm really interested to know why is it so expensive to travel inside Canada. And this is one of the things I literally hate about living in Canada. Now let's move on, guys. Let's talk about Fort Honor. A lot of persons, I know a lot of you guys watching this video right now, are not gonna agree with me or don't even understand what I'm talking about when it comes down to Fort Honor list. And some persons, it might hit a nerve. But why are Canadians so bipolar? Why are most persons so bipolar? It's like it's hard to find somebody with a constant energy. Sometimes they are happy. Sometimes you think you guys are besties. And then the other moment in time, it's like you're wondering like if you guys are silent beefing. Let me know if it's just on my side, guys. But like most persons who I meet, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. This moment, everything is good. Everything is all right. And then the next moment, you're like, yo, like, are we beefing and I don't know? And I think it's a cultural thing. I think it's a cultural thing. And I think it's because we are from a culture where we are pretty constant in our energy. Like most persons from our culture is more constant. But here, there's a lot of bipolarism that goes on. And I don't like it. And oftentimes you don't know when to expect it. You don't know when to read into it. We don't know when to expect it. It usually catches us off guard. Now, Canadians are known to be some of the friendliest persons on earth, right? But my own experience is that in every culture you have good people, you have bad people. That is not just unique to Canada, that's everywhere. However, what I find is that it takes some time for at least the Canadians who I have met to actually open up and let you in, right? They can be very cliquey. And it's hard for you as an immigrant to break into certain social space because they're not as open and welcoming. You know, like for example, let's use Jamaica for example. If I am friends with somebody, and then that friend is somebody who is friends with somebody else, and then that friend introduced that person to me, for example, then me and that person automatically become friends because of that mutual friend. Here, it's not the same. It's really different here. And that was something that caught me off guard. And I'm not sure if I like it. And I'm going to put it into the list of things I hate about Canada. Absolutely. I'm going to put it right there. As I said, let me know in the comment section if you guys agree or if you guys disagree with my lineup so far. Or if you guys have a similar experience, let me know in the comment section. And now we're going to move on to number 5. Guys, I have to laugh because number 5 is one that's gonna hit a nerve for a lot of immigrants, especially. Number 5 is high taxes. Guys, let me tell you this. Now, taxes is something that keeps the economy going, and taxes is something that you pay regardless of anywhere in the world you live. But let me tell you guys this. Taxes are very, very, very extremely high in Canada. Now, each province is almost like its own little mini country, and there's different tax laws and stuff like that that governs different jurisdiction, in this case provinces. So depending on where you are, your taxes can be higher or lower dependent on where you live, as I said. But generally, taxes are very, very high in Canada. As an immigrant, taxes will have you scratching your head trying to figure out where all your money is going. Guys, in comparison to the US and many other countries around the world, Canada has some of the highest tax rates in the world. It's very, very expensive, guys. It's very, very expensive. Your tax bill will be very high. The more you earn, the more you pay, which is typically to most places in the world. But the starting rate is very high in Canada, and I don't think I like that. And again, as I said before in the beginning of the video, all the persons watching this right now who's gonna be saying, if you ate all these things, why are you still in Canada, yada yada yada. Remember, I'm gonna be doing a part 2 that speaks about all the things I love about living in Canada. So please stick around for that video before you make your comment, right? But let me know in this video what you think about the 5 things that I hate about Canada. If you have personal experiences with these as well, if you're an immigrant, if you're living in Canada, if you're thinking of moving to Canada, what are your thoughts? Let me know right down in the comment section, and subscribe to the Anderson's family and turn on that bell so that when the other episode or other videos is launched, you guys are able to see what we got going on, right? Smash a like on this video if you agree with me, or even if you disagree with me. Smash a like regardless. It really helps out the video, and share it so other persons can know what to expect when they are moving to Canada, right? Again, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hopefully I did not step on too many toes in this video. I really want to preserve all of our relationships, but the truth is the truth, and sometimes the truth hurts, right? Until next time, guys, see you guys in the next video. Peace.